I'd say even if you're not successful, even if this doesn't fucking take off and this doesn't catch traction or anything like that, I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore just because I enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
One good fucking morning to you guys. Jesus Christ. I don't know about you, but today was slow morning.
Dude, it goes hand in hand with this weather we have.
Because you want to fucking stay in bed and cuddle.
Well, not that. You called me late.
Okay.
You're my alarm clock. I gotta depend on you to get me up in the morning, or else this isn't gonna get done.
Yeah.
I fell asleep at a reasonable hour. So,
yeah,
I mean.
So did I. I think I went to bed at like 11.
I have no excuses.
11 would give me a good solid 6 hours of sleep, I would say. If I go to sleep at 11.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep around 11 too.
Yeah.
What time did we get home?
It was like 9 something.
Well, then maybe I fell asleep at 10 something. Close to 11. Oh, no, dude. I was watching rodeo shit for like a good hour and a half. Fordham was getting pissed.
Yeah.
I was like watching shoot procedures, bull riding procedures. I was watching all kinds of crap.
Well, important, just so if anybody watching this video doesn't know what we're talking about, we'll talk about it again.
That's right.
This guy over here, to my left, is competing in a rodeo. He's going to ride a bull, and if he lasts the 8 seconds, he gets $1,000. If he doesn't last the 8 seconds, at least he still gets laid. So, I mean, either or, because I know there's a lot of wild cowgirls out there, and even professional bull riders, they don't always go 8 seconds.
Bro, some of them get knocked off instantly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean fucking instantly.
So really, being a professional bull rider isn't that you're the best bull rider. It's that you will get on the bull over and over and over and over and over again until you get 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think all professional bull riders have gone 8 seconds at least once?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like bowling a 300 and fucking, in bowling. But it's like, I mean, it's definitely done, plenty of times, stuff like that. But that fella that you were talking about with the monster sponsorships,
JB Mooney.
Mooney, that's right. I was watching videos of him last night.
Yeah.
Because I guess what makes him so fucking hardcore is that he picks the bulls that most people don't want to ride, and he fucking most of the time can ride a pretty impressive. Well,
when I was younger, like I said, I had some family members that watched the PBR, professional bull riding, and they always sit like. Anytime that we would watch, it was always the Brazilians that would do the best on the bull riding. I wouldn't say always, because there was a couple of guys from the United States that would do really good, and there was obviously there's Australian and Canadian and all kinds of bull riders out there. But for some reason, dude, it was always like there would be like a white guy and like 3 Brazilians that were always like the top 5 or so, or top 4 guys. And the Brazilians always got super fucking close to 8 seconds. They did not, and like. And
what do they have to do down there?
What do you mean?
I feel like it's like soccer. Like, you don't have much to do, so you just ride bulls. Like.
Yeah, you play sports. I think it's like, okay, so you ever heard like Evander Holyfield, the guy who Mike Tyson bit his ear?
Mm-hmm.
So he had this there's this documentary about champions on Netflix, and I watched it a while back, and he said in the video that poor people make better fighters because they're fighting for something.
Mm-hmm.
If you've already got everything, you don't have to fight for anything.
Oh, dude, well that goes hand in hand with our lives right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean right now, and
yeah.
I think about it all the time. I get all pissed off. I am, because like. We don't have necessarily hard lives by any means when you think about the people that are out there in these other countries.
Far
that are
worse.
shacked up in these little bitty sheds, you could call them, because not even qualify them as houses, and there's fucking 15 of them in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got it so good, so it's almost as if we're pampered, and I feel like I have no drive to go out and make something of myself.
Right.
Whereas we got all these foreign people that come to the America, and they fucking, start their own businesses and do all this other shit. Granted, they do get a lot of loans and shit like that, America helps them tremendously. But the whole thing is, like, I feel like because I'm not, like, deprived that bad of anything, that I don't have any drive to go fucking make some crazy shit happen.
God, there's so many topics that can come off of what we're talking about here, because not only, and I wouldn't say so much that, like, America helps people, but America gives you the opportunity that you didn't have anywhere else, that you won't have anywhere else. You know, there's definitely other places in the world where you can go and start a business, but there's few places in the world where you hear stories like Evander Holyfield story where, you know, the guy was like, he was talking about in that documentary, I want to say he was like, you know, we ate, you know, like cheap meats and beans every day of the week, but we ate.
Yeah.
You know, we fucking ate. And then talked about his mother and his father on their days off, they would take the kids and they would take them, you know, like dumpster diving and stuff like that. And I may be speaking wrong on it, but where they would see and they'd be like, you know, don't you throw shit away. If it can be used, don't throw it away. Mm-hmm. You know, another man's trash, another man's treasure. Don't litter. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know, like always teaching them values, teaching them morals, teaching them how to be strong young men. And then later in life, the same values that this guy learned brought him to be a champion in boxing. You know, brought him to be the dude that a lot of people thought Mike Tyson wasn't going to be able to beat. And some people say Mike Tyson knew he wasn't going to be able to beat him. That's why he bit his fucking ear, you know? So, I mean, like, it's those type. And Mike Tyson came from a shitty background. And, like, if you go throughout history, and yes, there are people, athletes, successful people that come from decent backgrounds. They come from, I wouldn't say wealthy, but comfortable living. And then, but I would say most cases, when you find those people that are, you know, that have the champion type story, that comeback kid kind of story, where they're like, you come from the bottom and you work your ass off until you make it where you want to make it, and then you get that lifestyle that you want, that you see in magazines and shit like that. Most of those people, somewhere along the line, they have something fucked up that happened to them or something that really tore them down, and then they were like, fuck it, I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah. That, you know, like bottom mentality where it's like, I'm fucking nonstop until I get what I want type shit.
Yeah, speak of rock bottom, fucking Dwayne Johnson. That's his story. When you hear him talk about, like, when he decided that he was going to wrestle and he was going to go into entertainment, he was like, I had $7 in my pocket, and I got cut from, I can't remember if it was arena football or if it was the springtime football, but he was playing for a team under the NFL, obviously, and the Calgary Stampeders, I think that's what he calls it, or what the team was. But yeah, he was like, they cut him, and they called him back, and they're like, hey, you want to do this? And he was like, no, I don't. He was like, I was fucking broke. I had nothing. And he was like, he went to his dad, and he's like, this is what I'm doing. You're either going to help me or not. But he was broken. There was nothing, he could have went back and played football. He could have went and got a trade, fucking, whatever. He could have went to school or something like that, but he didn't. His mind and his soul told him, do this, and he fucking did it. And but he started from the bottom. I mean, when The Rock started, I'm pretty sure there's a thing that there's a video on Instagram where he talks about it. When he started wrestling, people didn't fucking like him. He was like Rocky Samoa or some fucking name like that. He wore blue and like white boots and had like the bees and stuff. Like he was a Samoan, like real traditional dude. And people didn't like him. And then he became The Rock, and he started, working the mic and talking shit to people. And all of a sudden, everybody fell in love with him.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
because shit, that's 90% of the whole damn thing right there. Because I mean, most of the fights, they know who's gonna win or whatnot. But the whole thing is, maybe I'm not that far off track because shit, I've had $7 in my pocket plenty of fucking times.
For a long, yes.
Dude, it happens often where I'm sitting on $7. So shit, maybe I'm not that far off.
Dude, I tell you what, dude, and it comes down to, like, so many times, dude, and me and you talk about this, and we've talked about it so much that I think it starts to make you angry when we sit down and have the, man, I really want to do this kind of conversations.
Yeah. And
I think that's where like this stuff came from, is where I was like, I don't got nothing to lose. I'm not. Yeah. I don't want to work construction anymore. I don't want to remodel homes. I don't want to landscape anymore. I don't want to work these jobs, because with me, all the time, dude, it always comes from the same thing. I'm like, all right, I got to get my life together. I got to make it. I gotta make people proud. I gotta make some money. I gotta pay my bills. I gotta do this, do that, and so I'm like, okay, well, I need to find a job. What am I good at? Okay, well, I've worked construction. I've worked landscaping. I've worked tree jobs. I've worked remodeling jobs. I've done roofing. Well, I guess I'm going into, the blue collar, assholes and elbows type work.
Yeah.
And then, and I will bust my ass for 6 months to a year. I'll do everything I can to make my boss see, that I can take on responsibility, that I deserve a raise or whatever. But even if I get the raise within that 6 months to a year, I'm like, dude, fuck this. I'm laying in bed at night wanting to fucking put a bullet in my dome because I'm so depressed. I'm like, this is not what I want to fucking do. Even if I get good at it, even if I get better at it, even if I learn other skills, even if I go to school and be a licensed so-and-so, I'm not going to be fucking happy. I'm going to want to fucking blow my brains out every night. I get to the point where, like, you know, like my dogs will bark because they want to go outside, and I'm angry at my dogs just because, and like, and it's everybody. You get agitated. You get like you don't want to fucking do anything. Things that normally make you happy don't make you happy anymore. Dude, and I'd say, even if you're not successful, even if this doesn't fucking take off and this doesn't catch traction or anything like that, I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore just because I enjoy this. I enjoy this. There's something about waking up and talking with my buddies and, you know, getting messages on Instagram and getting comments on YouTube and having people, you know, send me messages on Facebook and like, hey, you know, you guys are doing a good job. Even if it's fucking 10 people, you know what I mean? Even if it's 10 people that are like, hey, you know, we enjoy what you're doing, I'm going to keep doing it. Because I'm not doing it for them, you know, I'm doing it because it makes me happy. And in the process, if I can make other people happy and make other people laugh at some of the things I may say, then, you know, all's well.
Yeah. And dude, and I'm gung-ho for whatever makes us happy because my whole conversation my entire life has been, well, what do you want to do? What sparks your interest? You know, what do you want to pursue when you're ready to, you know, to make a career of whatever the fuck it may be? Yeah. And it's like, well, I don't know. No, I don't fucking know what I want to do. I don't know what my passion is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a burning passion to do any specific trade. So it's like, you know, a lot of people may have that problem, but then they don't really. I don't know if it's not that they don't capitalize on it, but the whole thing is just like I've never had something that burns me that I want to do. And the fact that, like you, for example, getting this podcast started, it's like it deserves a fucking applause because people want to do shit. And that's why I got aggravated with the conversations we used to have, you know, me, you, Vinny, whoever the fuck else, where they're like, dude, I want to do this. I want to get this happen. Let's do this. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, let's fucking do this. I want to do that too. And then it's like, I want to do this. And I want to make this happen.
Yeah.
Me too, bro. Let's fucking run it. A couple months later, I want to do this, and it's like, all right, bro, I'm fucking done having this conversation.
Right.
But look at us, bro. You got all this shit popping, and here we are doing this. I'm excited about it, dude, and I want to applaud you for it. And like the fucking rodeo's coming, I'm excited that I'm doing something.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. I'm super hyped about the rodeo. I'm super hyped about the rodeo because there's, like I said, there's only two things that come with this. You get bucked off. I take that. There's three things that happen.
Probably three things.
You get bucked off in the beginning. At least you had the balls to get on the fucking bull.
Good.
It's just like fucking fighters.
Right.
Get knocked out as soon as you fucking walk in there, but you had the balls to stand in front of a dude who is trained to hurt you.
Yeah.
So fucking congratulations. Number two is you make a good time. You don't make 8 seconds, and everybody sees that maybe you're kind of talented at fucking. Maybe you're just a natural athlete. And you fucking got on there and you showed the fucking bull that you can hang on. You showed the fucking crowd. You entertained everybody. And you're probably taking somebody home. I'm gonna be real. Them cowgirls are wild.
They're
and
wild.
Number 3, you last 8 seconds, you win $1,000, and somebody might be like, "Holy shit, this dude's got it going on."
That was the first time.
Yeah, and then you know. We all know where that goes. You know, Monster, fucking Rockstar calls you. Now you're sponsored. You're a professional bull rider. I don't ever get to see you anymore.
Oh,
my life spirals out of control.
The buddies are coming with me, dude. Because, you know, if it does go good for me and I do last 8 seconds or even close to it and I pick this hobby up, because, let's face it, dude, this is just for experience for me. I mean,
absolutely.
The opportunity of winning the money, great. And I guess the possibility of maybe, you know, pursuing it, great. But really, this is all just for an experience. My buddy was talking to me at the shop. He's like, yo, my girl's brother, he's been taking me to all these rodeos. And it's a fucking awesome time. And I was like, I want to ride a bull too. Yeah. And he was like, all right, we'll sign up. And then I was like, all right, well, hell yeah, one's coming to Hopkinsville, I'm signing up. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I don't get knocked out and trampled, because that happens.
That does happen.
If I don't get knocked out and trampled and I want to keep going with this, dude, I'm going to do everything in my power to convince you, Vinny.
Dude, I'll fucking ride.
Edge,
I don't care.
Bro. That, like, dude, this is fucking tight. Levi was like, our buddy Levi was like, yo, dude, I would do it, man. He's like, but I just had surgery. And I was like, shut your lying ass.
Bro, I don't give a shit. Listen, I've already been knocked out. I've already been put to sleep before.
Yeah.
I've already got my bell rung. whatever that bull can do to me, it's probably already been done to me. I've been hit by a car. So I feel like
I've been hit by a car.
I've been hit by a car, so I feel like, being hit by a bull and being hit by a car might be a little of the same thing. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, there's people there,
Even if I get knocked out, say I lose my feet behind the rope and my body goes forward.
Yeah.
And up comes his head and he does knock me out. Those guys are trained to help me out. Like, I've seen the videos where people will get rocked or whatever, and they're on the ground trying to crawl away. They don't know what's happening. They're disoriented. Yeah. And then, the clowns will do their... Well, not... Actually, dude... They don't even really wear clown stuff anymore. There's like one dude in the PBR 2018 that I seen was wearing clown stuff. The rest of them just wear like a hat and like normal clothes.
Yeah.
So like I don't even know if we should call them clowns.
Well, I think like, and again, we spoke about this. We think we did it that test run we did where we were gonna upload the podcast and the conversation got real dark and heavy. We were talking about things that maybe we didn't have the right to talk. Well, we had the right to talk about it, but people probably didn't want to listen to how south that conversation went. Anyway, so, but I mentioned something on that podcast about how Tim Kennedy has a show coming out called Hard to Kill. And I'm a super big fan of Tim Kennedy, and one of the things he does...
Respect fella.
Yeah. One of the things he does in that show is he is a bullfighter. And he says in the trailer, he's like, stop calling...
Fighter or rider?
Fighter.
Fighter.
And he says... Stop calling them rodeo clowns. They're bullfighters. Show them some respect. Because...
What about the ones that do have clown suits on, though?
I don't know. Maybe they want to be called rodeo clowns. I'm not sure. But
because the one that steals the show that they were talking about was like the favorite guy. He was dressed up like a clown.
Yeah.
The rest of them had like, colorful, like, not colorful, but like sponsorships or whatever the fuck on their clothes. Mm-hmm. Like... red shorts and fucking whatever the fuck. Yeah. I mean, it was catchy looking, but it had nothing to do with clowns.
A lot of them have like all colored, like different colored, like Dickies shit. They'll wear like Dickies shorts and cowboy boots and shit like that. But and I'm sure some of them do dress as clowns. But at the end of the day, they're bullfighters. Those dudes are sticking their face right in front of a bull while your ass
smacking the bull in the head. And shit.
While your ass is getting fucking blasted around town, getting thrown into walls and shit, and running away from being scared. Well, I wouldn't say being scared, but definitely aware.
Trying to survive, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely being aware of a bull trying to fucking ram your ass. Mm-hmm. But yeah, dude, those guys that fucking get in there, you talk about balls. Like the riders got balls, but so do they.
No, they got balls.
They're not just standing in there like, hey bull. They're fucking, they, like you said, they run up and they smack the bulls and they grab it.
Smacked him in the face. They're doing the slow-mo, and this bull was like, after the dude was knocked off, this bull was just fucking going nuts in a circle. Wasn't going in any direction, but just in a circle.
Right.
And every time it would come to this side, that guy there would smack him in his face, and then when you come around, he'd smack him in the face, and then it just kept going. Like for like probably about 3 or 4 rotations, this bull was just spinning, and they were smacking him. I mean, right beside, like from me to you to the bull, and then reaching out at him. Like crazy shit. Yeah, they got balls, dude. I mean, it's nuts, and I'm thankful for them because it kind of eases my mind a little bit. If I do get knocked off, that they're gonna distract the bull, and that I'm serious. That's like that's when you boil everything down. That is the main fear, the bull getting a hold of you. You know what I'm saying? That's the main fear. Yeah. Because like you're riding a bull, but what if it gets a hold of you?
My main fear for you is, and I told you this the other day. My main fear is that. I've seen those guys when I was a kid. Like I said, I had a couple family members that were crazy about the PBR. They just loved cowboys. Yes, they were females. And
your family's gonna love me. And then that whole situation.
Oh, I'm roasting all of you, motherfuckers.
We're not gonna get into it, but that whole situation, the family's gonna love me, and then you got your situation, your pending situation.
Anyway, I don't care. I don't care if my family watches. I will roast every single one of you because guess what? All of you that gave me a hard time, I've got the mic now, and I'm gonna burn you every chance I get. But the guy. Damn, I forgot what I was even gonna talk about. I got distracted because now
you grew up watching it.
That's right. So grew up watching PBR, and there would be guys that like run up and they would like grab the tail of the bull. And they would fucking, that's what I was talking about. Sorry about that. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about what I was really scared of for you. Yes. What I was really scared of for you is that I don't want to see your fucking hand get too tight in the rope and then you get knocked off and your hand is still fucking up there. Because I've seen those guys where they'll last 8 seconds and they're like, okay, time to hop off, and they jump off and they can't get their fucking hand out and they're just getting fucking drug along with this bull.
Mm-hmm.
And then one clown's on one side, or bullfighter is on one side, and he's trying to pull his hand out. The dude's grabbing his hand, trying to pull his own hand out. They can't get it out. He's just getting tossed around.
Yeah.
I've seen them, their legs get stomped on like that.
That happened in the 2018 PBR tour that I was watching.
That's scary.
Yeah,
That's
it is scary.
That's scarier than getting.
Dude, there's so many points that we could bring up, like bull riding fears. Boom, right off the bat, we probably got like 10 bullets right here that we could fill up with.
Well, I think all of it comes
possibilities.
from is that you can't control. We had somebody who I went to school with commented on the video, and he said it was scarier being on a bull than it is climbing the tower. He commented and let us know his opinion, which we appreciate.
We do appreciate.
And but he made a good point. You can't control anything that fucking bull's gonna do. You can control how high you climb or how tight you hold the fucking the beams or whatever that you're climbing.
Yeah.
You can't control what that bull does. All you gotta do is hold on and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Hold on and hope that you're talented enough to fucking balance out on that bull's back while he's fucking trying to throw you off and trample your ass.
And it's like the balancing part is a huge deal. Like that JB fella.
Yeah.
He like stands on a basketball and like will get low and then like he's like, because when the ball goes forward and you got to lean back, he's like, it's perfect with the bull. He's like, I don't know. But anyways,
Yeah.
The whole thing is, it's like a fucking, as far as balance goes, you got to have the balance, but the balance goes hand in hand with reading the bull. He's like, if that head starts to go left, you got to know that you got to shift your balance to go left. It's like you're dancing with the bull, because the bull is going to want to go this way and you got to counter it going this way. And then one time the bull...
Hey, excuse you.
One time the bull went off to the right, and he was like, I'm just a tad behind it. You can see me. I'm kind of off to the left a little bit. And then the bull kept going right, and it shot him off. And he was like, well, that's where I went wrong. He's like, because I watch all my footy. He's like, I'll sit down and I'll watch my footy to find out where I went wrong. Even on the rides where I last 8 seconds, I try to figure out where I almost lost it. You know it's a big deal to some people, man. It really is.
What's crazy to me is all the people, because I do the same thing with this, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal with any of the good radio personalities or any of the actors or anything like that, or any podcasters. I'm just starting. I'm still learning how to use my electronics. I'm still learning how to edit videos and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I'm no professional or anything like that. But I find myself every time we get done with one of these and it's done rendering and it's all up on the computer and everything, even while I'm uploading it, I'm watching it because I want to see if I did anything like fucking unconsciously pick my nose on the mic, or if I said something that, like my voice got too quiet when I was talking about something, or if one of us brought something up and then it kind of got awkward for a second. Maybe we didn't realize it because we're just having a conversation.
Just
but
looking for anything to learn from.
But on camera it looks bad, and I want to pick up on those things and learn. But all the people that have been in sports or been involved in anything where they became recognized as a professional, all of those people rewatch over and over again what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They go back and they look like this guy who's bull riding. You wouldn't think. I mean, you think it would be like you're either good or you're not. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have a natural gift for it. You kind of have a talent, and I'm sure you have things like with bull riding that you can get better at, like your balance or timing with the bull.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't got it, you don't got it. I think that's with a lot of sports. But then you have these guys that, like, maybe when they started out they weren't that good, or maybe they were struggling with something. But it comes down to heart. Like, how much heart and how much determination do you have to be better than everybody else at what you're doing? Because there's a lot of guys and I'm no professional fighter, but for a while and even to now, I love having knowledge about martial arts. I love being able to sit down and watch UFC fights and watch local MMA fights and watch Bellator.
When you're watching that shit, because you did take it seriously and you did learn all that shit, but when you're watching that shit, are you 100% of the time watching their techniques and their moves?
Yeah,
like someone like me, when I watch the fight, I'm watching for the entertainment. I'm watching for someone to get knocked out.
Yeah, well, I watch it to watch guys win and stuff like that too. I watch it for the entertainment, but it's also once you've put somebody in a Kimura and you've been tapped out by a Kimura, 100 times, or you've set up a certain combination a certain way, or you've had a combination set up on you and gotten rocked or whatever. Once those things happen to you a certain amount of times, you see other people doing stuff and you can watch it as they're setting it up. you know, you can like, oh, okay, I know what he's doing now. Oh, okay, now, you know, like, oh, he's settling his hips down. Oh, he's, you know, he's turning his back into the cage. Oh, I bet he's going to sit out. Oh, okay. You know, like, oh, he's feinting that left. I bet, you know, like, if it's a certain type of fighter and you see him doing something over again, oh, here he comes. He's feinting with that left again. I bet he's about to explode and come through with that right cross or whatever the case may be. After you see that a certain amount of times, then you start picking up on things that you're watching. Just like the dude, the bull rider guy we're talking about, JB Mooney, and he's saying, you know, like, oh, well, watch the bull. Okay, he went this way. Now watch. I'm like half a second behind him. It's too late now. And you can watch that with guys. Like when this recent UFC, when TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt were fighting. Remember when you were like, dude, did you see how Dillashaw, he would cover up, take a shot, and immediately counter. Take a shot, counter. Take a shot, counter. He was, every punch that Cody threw, okay, he was off. And you could almost see his gears, his gears spinning in his head, like he was like off a second, through his left. Off a second, through his left. Off a second, through his left. And then that third or fourth one that came through, it fucking right across his jaw. But Cody wasn't doing that. Cody was swinging wild, trying to fucking take his head off with both hands. And he would miss, and then TJ would come back with that left. He would miss, or he would connect and hit him, but each time TJ was getting closer and closer to that jawline, closer and closer, and then finally, bing, fucking got him and put him down.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, even though TJ won the first fight, I guarantee you, because he's a master of his craft and he is considered a professional, and I guarantee you, even though he won, he went back and watched that fight to figure out how he can beat Cody faster. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I believe it went to the second round last time, and this time he beat him in the first round. You know, and I think, and I'm sure Cody was watching it, and he was thinking, you know, what can I do to correct what I did?
Yeah.
But like a lot of times, and I bet it goes to bull riding, I bet it goes to baseball, to football, to fighting, to anything that you're doing.
Literally anything that you're doing. Because we had my video teacher in Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I can't even watch commercials anymore. Because he would teach us how to, he taught us how to edit and do everything like that. We had to make a commercial one time. We had to make a music video. And he was sorry to us. He's like, I can't even enjoy commercials anymore because I'm always watching the fades or whatever they do, the transitions. And he's like, I can't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about football. We were talking about Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even enjoy them anymore. Because he took it so seriously that, well, not necessarily that he took it so seriously. He knew so much about it that he couldn't even sit back and enjoy it like us. Like me, when I watch a commercial, I'm like, what's the commercial about?
It's either funny, you learn something, or you change the channel. Yeah.
Or you change the channel. Yeah, but dude. So it literally translates to everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know it, or you take it seriously, you analyze it, and you can't even almost help.
Yeah, it's almost like because you train your brain to look and to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see someone else doing it and they're doing it wrong, you're like, oh. And that's kind of what I touched on before, like with the fighting stuff. Like I'm not. And I didn't, and compared to how long most people do it, I didn't do it very long. I was probably hot and heavy for about 2.5 years that I really cared about it and did it a lot. And then after that, it was kind of like off and on. I would go for 3 months at a time and take a couple months break, and I'd come back for 3 months, take a couple months break. And then, but because my mind, it's kind of like what you were talking about earlier when you said, how we talk and we're like, oh, dude, I really want to do this. And then, like, we'll be on that fucking topic for a couple months, and then it'll change. And then the next month, we're like, dude, I really want to do, like, downhill boarding, dude. Like, oh, my God, have you seen this video? And the next month, it's like, dude, I want to do, like dirt BMX, dude. That's what all I want to do. It's all I care about in life. And then, like, next thing you know, we're getting GoPros, dude. Like, and then no, we're going to travel. Like, it always changes.
I bought 2 GoPros.
Yeah, we did. Well, he did. But it's the same thing, and I think that's what happened to me. I think it's what happens to a lot of people. Is like with the fighting thing, I was like really fucking crazy about it, and I really just wanted one experience. I wanted to say I got in there, and win or lose, I fought. But then when I went there, I fucking fell in love with it, and it was a lot of fun. And then I won my first fight, and then, like, coaches, like, oh, you got potential, you could, potentially you could go and you could get paid for this if you really work at it. You have what it takes. Like, most people can't just walk in off the street and just do this. And my coach, Mike Merriman, was the guy who said that to me. He's like, dude, it's a rare case where someone just has enough athletics, enough ability where they can just walk in off the street with no prior fighting experience besides fucking punching your friends in the backyard, and walk right in and pick up on stuff within 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and now you're fighting and you win, and then you fight again in a couple weeks and you win again. And even though I didn't fight anybody that was crazy super experienced or anybody, any killers or anything like that, but like you said about the bull, I got in there and I did it. But on top of that, doing it for off and on as long as I did, I learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
So anything that you have done, if you play football and you play football your entire high school career and you play college or whatever and you watch an NFL game or you watch a college game, you're going to, because you're watching from a third person, you're going to see that person make a mistake before they ever make the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I do that with fighting.
We were actually taught to do that. And when I was at Fort Campbell, we took football they took football so fucking seriously. I hated it. But I fucking hated it, dude. But they took football so seriously. They'd be like, "Yo, you're watching the game. You're watching the game this weekend. Watch your position. Watch what your position does. If you're a receiver, watch how he blocks the corners or whatever. And,
right.
If you're a running back, watch how he hits the holes or reads his blocks and shit like that. So it doesn't matter. They're gonna, you're gonna
kick that break now. I don't know where it's at, but the table's moving more than it was yesterday.
Is it in there?
Yeah, I think
it might be me getting that.
I think we're good though. But yeah, I think it, and I bet it happens the same way with with you. I mean, and neither of us were professionals in sports or anything, but our whole life we played sports.
Yeah.
Even in soccer, dude. I only played soccer. I played soccer a lot when I was a kid, but it just wasn't. It turned into that thing where I was like, I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I was really competitive as a kid. But as I got older, I don't know if it was the crowd I was around or what it was, but I would always try my very best to get better and be better. But it was almost because I really had a care for it, that it was some people I was just dude, you're just a douchebag. And I didn't like those people. And then when I finally stopped though, and I finally got out of it, and it didn't really make me happy anymore, and I had to force myself to go to practice when I just wanted to go home and do something else.
Yeah.
I got to the point before I stopped, I would quit. I would stop going to practice. I wouldn't go to practice. I would go home and juggle. I would go home and there's a barn outside of our house. I would go home and kick the ball back and forth off the wall because I enjoyed playing soccer. I just didn't like the people we played with.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
And I don't know if that influenced me to stop playing, but even after, the point is, even after I stopped playing, I would still watch FIFA games and stuff like that, and the World Cup, and and the MLS, and I would watch them, and I'd be picking up on what they're doing, and I'd watch them and be like, oh, dude, why are you running into traffic like that when you have an open drop right behind you that sets up the pass that's center field or right field or whatever. And then it's the same thing with fighting. And I'm sure you do the same thing when you're watching football or you're watching sports that you have played or you're watching skating. And you can see that a trick is going to go bad before the trick goes bad.
Oh, dude, I'm a Titans fan. Don't be misled by this, Arkansas. I just like the shirt. I'm a Titans fan. And, actually, I don't even follow college anyways. But anyways, Titans fan. So what that comes with is a lot of territory where we're making mistakes. You're a Titans fan, we're a learning, growing team, goddammit. But I love
I'm not far behind you, dude. You got highlight years in the '90s, and nothing has happened since.
yeah. And so I deal with a whole lot of bullshit, and dude, and the whole time when I'm watching the games, I'm like, why the fuck did you do this? Why the fuck didn't you do this?
Yeah.
Why would you do this when this dude is right here doing this? Why the fuck would you do this?
Yeah.
And so that's 100% all it is.
Yeah.
When I'm watching football, it's because I got a team that bullshits quite often, but. Dude, I'm watching 100% of the time and critiquing.
Yeah.
It just fucking blows my mind. But I'll tell you what, dude, going back to when you were, with your fighting and shit like that, when you had that fight going up, and, it went downhill because of the situation with the dude's family.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so excited, dude.
Yeah.
I was because I had heard all the stories and I had seen the videos of your fights, your previous fights where you won. Congrats, it's badass. And then I was like, you're like, yo, I was talking to Mike and I got a fight coming up. And I remember we were fucking training every time because we would go to the gym every day. But before the gym, before we started lifting, we would fucking run. Yeah. We started running because we were like, yo, you work on your cardio or whatever. Yeah. I was like, hell yeah, dude, let's run, let's get it. So we would run, for a couple miles, and then we would go lift. And I remember you were watching, eating, and it was just exciting for me. I was like, oh shit, this nigga's gonna be fighting. He's fighting. So I was excited to go to the fight. I was gonna be talking trash to everybody. It was just gonna be an exciting thing. And then when it didn't fall through, when it fell through, I was like, I was heartbroken, dude.
Yeah, well, I was heartbroken too, and because it was the first time that I was going to fight at 145.
Yeah.
And
what did you do? Like one.
my very first fight was 125, which, if you know anything about fighting, I'm 6'1", and I fought my very first fight at 125. So basically, if you could imagine a giant Q-tip walking around getting ready to fight, that's about what I looked like. I looked like I was knocking on death's door. And the second fight was a little bit lenient. It was at 135. And but it was bullshit because we were having to travel, so I had to do same day weigh-ins. It was an amateur fight, obviously, but I had to do same day weigh-ins. So when I got there, I had to weigh. They were like, you don't got to weigh one. You just have to be. They were like, if you can weigh in under 138 on the same day of the fight, because he's going to weigh in the day before, and he's going to get to eat and everything else. If you can weigh under 138, you can fight. So I'm like, okay. So I get there, I'm under 138, and then this dude.
What were you like, 126, 127?
This dude is like, no. This dude is like on up way way above me by like 5 pounds, and I'm thinking like, Jesus Christ, like that was when it got in my head, because everybody was that's what we were ready for, was this dude to be a wrestler, and I was like, oh, now he's got weight on me,
Yeah.
and turns out I out wrestled him, and it wasn't a problem, and I ended up winning that fight. But the third one was going to be my first 145 fight, and I walk around probably like 155 or so. So I'm already a skinny dude, but this was going to be the first time where I didn't really have to cut weight. I watched what I ate. I didn't have to go into the sauna. I didn't have to wear a bodysuit or anything like that. It just kind of fell off naturally. I stopped eating so much, and then boop, I was down. And so not only was I super excited about it, but I was training. There would be 2 days, I think, where I would go and I would do like 2 a days, because I slowed down working. So and then there was 4 days where I went to the gym at night, and I spent, 2.5 hours at the gym, and the rest of the time I was running, we were lifting, we were doing everything. And then, there was even times where I was going, and everything that I was doing my mind was wrapped around this. And because I didn't have to cut as much weight, I had a little bit more leniency where I could strictly focus on learning skills, sharpening my art, whatever, and being ready. And I had, every night I would watch this guy's fights, and I was like, dude, in my head I was so confident, because I was like, the way he fought is the perfect way to fight me if you want to lose. And and in my head I'm like, oh, he's gonna play right into my strengths. He swings wild, and I love being a counter fighter. I like distance. I don't like being fucking up close and personal and fucking getting wrist knocked out. I don't like doing that stuff. And I like being on the ground. I like cage work. I like stuff like that. And all the weak points that dude had was all things that were my strengths. So I was like,
you were just planning on fucking sitting back and just tagging him
the
entire fight?
Yeah, well, tagging him and putting pressure on him, putting him up against the cage, making him work against my tall, long body, because I have leverage on him. Yeah. If I'm laying on top of you, all of a sudden my 155 pounds feels like 180 pounds when you have pressure on you and somebody's holding you down the whole time. It's a different feeling. And I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect for me. And I was so confident. I felt so good training. There was cardio was an issue, because I hadn't fought in a year and a half, 2 years. So I was like, cardio was something that I was mainly worried about. So that's why, I would go into the gym, and I would have older guys, they were telling me, hey, dude, your cardio looks good for a 2-round fight, so I hope you finish him in 2 rounds, but you need to fucking pick it up. And they're like, I don't mean to be rude. And I'm like, no, dude, we're fucking teammates. I appreciate it. Don't fucking, if you feel like I need to work on something, fucking tell me. Because a lot of those guys were guys that I looked up to. They had already went pro. They already had 10 plus fights. So anything that they said to me, that was knowledge. That was going in my library. That was going in my think bank for me to pick up on later or to use to make myself better. And then when that guy ended up calling, he said he had a family member pass literally a day and a half before the fight. And he had said something to me, and the promoter, apologized and everything like that. And it was heartbreaking. It was a shame, because I did lose weight. I did
all this work, dude.
And dude,
you worked yourself up mentally. We talked about this a couple of days back on the podcast. You got yourself worked up mentally for this, and then you got let down. Yeah. That's tough.
If you don't have confidence, if you don't have a lot of self-esteem, and confidence about yourself or with the things that you're doing, when plans change or things take a hard left turn, dude, they'll fucking break you down. That will destroy you.
A hard left turn?
Hard right turn, sorry.
Right, you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. That's the second time.
Teammates, dude.
Yeah. Sex dolls are hymns. I'm turning left.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
something's up right now.
I think it's these early mornings, dude. I wake up, dude, my head's still in the bed. But yeah, dude, it'll fucking destroy you, because I know like days where we have plans to come home, you know, after work, and we're like, we're gonna gym, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and then something little may happen where it throws it off, and both of us are like, fuck it, I don't even want to do this anymore. I don't want to go to the gym anymore.
Yep.
I don't care. I'm gonna take my dogs out and go to bed. I don't care. And
relax around the house, chill.
yeah, it'll fuck you up. And I wonder if that has a lot to do with why people don't follow their dreams, or if they don't chase after the things that they really believe in. Because I'm a firm believer in, if you don't fucking like what you're doing, stop what you're doing and do what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge believer in it, because I think the biggest thing that tears people down is forcing themselves to do something that makes them unhappy or makes them feel miserable. So the question is, I wonder if plans changing so fast and plans, you know, like, you know, or you know, like you're, I guess, veering from the path that you were on. I wonder if that's one of the reasons why people just, fuck it, I'll just do this, whatever. This is easier. I can work at this job and make decent money, but I don't have to risk it. I don't have to take any risks. I can just, everything will be okay. But meanwhile, in the back of their mind, they have these dreams and these goals, and then, you know, they get their girlfriend pregnant. Well, fuck. Now that's over with. Oh, and now your girlfriend cheats on you, or you get injured at work, or you're out partying and you get sick, and you got to take time off the things that you were doing to set yourself up to chase down these dreams and to go after these things you believe in, and you face a setback. I wonder if that it's so simple to understand, if you think about it, that one little setback can completely derail somebody from chasing something that they've wanted their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a deep conversation to have, because I think that leads into that could lead into suicide. That can lead into
It's a big fear of mine is to settle down, because it's like one thing that we like to pride ourselves on is the fact that we're young doing shit. Like I don't want to get to the point where it's like, you know, damn, I wish I would have done this. Like I was young, my girlfriend wasn't pregnant, I didn't have any kids, you know what I'm saying? I had no, you know, real commitment to anything. Like, man, I could have went and done anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that is one of my fears, is that I you know, don't try shit, or that I don't chase shit, or that I, you know, just I don't want to look back and think to myself, man, I should have done this while I had the chance. You know what I'm saying? And that is a big thing of mine. That's what makes me want to go and do some shit. But, you know, I really don't have too many goals, to be honest with you. Like I was talking about, there's nothing that I too much would like love and want to do to chase, you know what I mean? So in the meantime, I guess I'm just kind of going with the flow, enjoying shit.
Yeah.
But like,
well, and that's a very important thing with fucking, you said trying a bunch of shit. If you don't know, if you're one of those people like yourself that doesn't know, and I'm no expert or anything like that, but if you don't know what you want to do, and you sit down and you really try to crack down, like, what do I really fucking love, and you just can't figure it out, do a whole bunch of shit and maybe you'll come across it. You know what I mean? If every, like we were talking about earlier, if every week or yesterday, if every week you do something new, do an activity that's new, find a new hobby, go do something you've never done before, eventually you might find something that you were head over heels for, and it completely changed the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. But if you're constantly doing that thing that we were talking about just earlier on the podcast, where you're like, oh, I really want to fucking do this. Oh my God, we're going to start dirt biking. Oh, we're going to start mountain biking. We're going to buy 4-wheelers. We're going to buy jet skis. You know, like, oh, we're going to start podcasting. We're going to start pranking people. Like, everything that we have talked about that we didn't do. And, you know, and it will piss us off in the end, because, like, one of us won't be into it, but one of us will. Or one of us will be more into it than the other one. And then it'll kind of, like, move, because like since we've moved in together, we've kind of almost done everything together. If one of us comes up with an idea, even if the other one doesn't like it, we're like, fuck it, I'll try it, whatever.
Well, that's our fucking personality. It's not like you're not gonna go do some shit that I'm not gonna try. That's why we work hand in hand together so well, because like a lot of our friends don't like to go do shit, whereas me and you, we're like, you want to go to Flat Rock? You want to go ride the fucking trails? You know, granted, we've done these things, you know, probably 5+ times, you know, in these past couple of years, you know, all of our activities, but like, and we are looking for new shit.
Yeah.
those trails that we rode.
New shit, by the way. If you have any ideas or you know anything around the Clarksville, Nashville,
like, dude, you got to try this off the beaten path. You know what I mean? Like, not
send us messages. Fucking comment. Send us a message on YouTube. Comment under our channel or under the videos. You can send us messages on Instagram. I don't care. Contact me if you know something that I haven't done or you think I love. Fucking, I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but I love getting a high off of life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know something that maybe you're interested in or something that's fucking fun, fucking send us a message and we'll go fucking do it. And we'll make a fucking video or vlog it while we're fucking doing it, and we'll let you guys know how we like it.
And if it is something like, because I do want to document everything, you know, I want to get everything on footy and fucking, you know, because I feel like that's just an awesome thing to have. But like, if you got some ideas that are, you know, you got to go to Nashville and try this place, you know, okay, yeah, but like what I'm talking about is like, because we know now 2 spots where there are dirt ramps in the woods where you can ride your bike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you can jump. And like, so if you know of any like waterfalls or places where you could jump off of a cliff into some water, or like, you know, a badass part of some jungle or some trail that you can hit.
Some jungle.
Know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about like some shit that like people don't normally do, or don't, like, cause like the bridge that me and my cousins walked across, like, that's off the beaten path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's some pretty gnarly shit. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some gnarly, fun time shit that like only me, you, and maybe one other friend will want to do every once in a while, because we don't have friends like us.
We're definitely the 2 guys that like when we come up, like when we did the tower and we fucking had that idea, we're like, listen, it's fucking 200 plus feet in the air. We're not going up there with fucking ropes. We're not going up there with fucking harnesses or anything. Mm-hmm. We're just grabbing it and climbing all the way to the top. And dude, there was, I think every single one of our friends was like, y'all are stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, guess what? Ridiculous. We did it, and we got to the top, and we had a great time fucking doing it.
And we got it on footy.
We did.
No one else can say that.
We took the GoPro, and we went up all the way to the top.
Huh? No, then again, no one, you know, likes to do illegal shit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was completely legal.
Very illegal. Because I don't think Ohio has laws on that. But anyways, they could. I didn't look into it.
Or Nebraska or wherever we were.
I think it was Ohio. Did I say Iowa?
You said Ohio. Yeah.
We were in California.
Nah. For sure, it was Idaho.
But
if I remember correctly,
it was pretty gnarly. No doubt about it, though. Yeah, man. I mean, if you were to ever get back into, like, your passion for it was fighting, dude, I would be so pro. I'm 100% pro Spencer getting back into fighting, because like the shit I've heard so many stories and I've seen the videos of you doing it. Who knows? My answer could be the fucking rodeo this week, and that could be the answer to my fucking what do I want to do question.
I had the thing where I came over because I had a part in my life where I had that moment where I sat down for a minute and I thought, like, do I really want to do this as bad as I said I did 3 years ago or 4 years ago? And I thought about it, and not to like ride any dicks or anything, but I watch a lot of Joe Rogan's podcast, and I heard him talk one time, and he was saying that it gives him a certain type of confidence when he can walk into a situation and he knows if there's some shithead that wants to come fuck with him, that he knows not only can he defend himself, so he's confident there. He's confident in the fact that if something was to happen, that he could completely diffuse the situation without hurting anybody. Because if you can walk up to a dude and the dude's trying to take your fucking head off and he's being a jackass, and you fucking, you single leg him and tree top him, or you double leg him or whatever, take him on the ground, work yourself to his back, choke him out. Now he's asleep. Mm-hmm. He never got hurt. He's done. You can get up. Hey guys, I'm out of here. Don't fucking. I'm done.
Well,
it's
I'll tell
all
you
over
what.
with.
I've done my fair share of pixie sticking and cranberries to people. Ain't no doubt about it. All right, but it takes a bigger person to even have that knowledge to like take a step back and not want to hurt someone, because in those situations there's a fella trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Who's gonna like? It takes a lot of knowledge and maturity to say, this dude is ridiculous. I'm not going to hurt him.
Yeah.
I'm going to diffuse the situation by not hurting him.
Right.
Because most people are like, fuck you. You want to hurt me? I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, because you definitely could. If and you see fights all the time where dudes who maybe have a little bit of knowledge on fighting or an art form, whether it be jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or whatever, or kickboxing, And they'll, they knock a dude out or they'll put a dude to sleep, and then they keep fucking beating on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can cause serious damage.
Fucking heads bouncing off the ground and
for
shit.
sure, you can cause serious damage, but there definitely is. And back to my point, when I watched that, I started thinking about it to myself. I was like, where did this all come from? And fighting, for me, I do love it and I do enjoy it, and it's a passion of mine to have the knowledge that I do, even though I would at best I would say I have strong fundamentals. I would say I know strong fundamentals in multiple art forms, and I take pride in that.
Mm-hmm.
But it gives me a good feeling that I know I'm proud of what I did in the sport, even though it was, fairly little. But, I have victories. I learned. I met some really good people. I made some really good friends, and I heard a bunch of stories. I got to go meet people. I got to go to different shows to open my mind. But I also, I also learned a different type of confidence. When I was younger, I ran my mouth so much more than I do now. Like, yeah, I have times where I lose my temper. I'm like, all right, dude, you're about to fucking get it. Like, shut your mouth. But back in the day, it was like every person that looked at me wrong, I was wanting to fight them. Yeah. And now it's gotten to a point where, yeah, I still think about, like, I wonder if that dude's a douchebag. I wonder if he's a shithead. Like, but I don't ever act on it because most of the time I'm like, this dude, he probably doesn't even know what he's doing. And if something was to happen, yeah, I will probably win. But I could just walk away because in my mind, I can just chuck it up to if we were to fight, I was going to win anyway. So, but I just saved that guy a bad night or whatever. And I think a lot of people look at it that way. I think a lot of people, and it goes back to like what I talked about the other day with situational awareness with like self-defense. If you can walk into a room and you see a fucking shitty person, just stay away from them. Let them go be shitty to somebody else. And then if a fight breaks out, you know that you can stop it. Or you can help a person from getting hurt. Mm-hmm. Or what was that loop for?
Yes, I'm watching. Fuck, I love when other people fight. I'm not about like if someone else is getting into the fight, shit, that's amazing. I'll sit back and watch it. Like that's the good shit. I love watching fights.
So now we know what type of people we are. I'm a civil servant, and this guy over here is worldstar.com. So fucking
Worldstar. I get fucking knocked
Worldstar.
Clean bias, buddy.
Yeah. But dude, I enjoyed the rainy weather this morning, and I enjoyed getting up once again for fucking episode 5. We didn't really talk about nothing exciting, but we definitely had a good little discussion. And hopefully you guys can enjoy. If there's anything that you want to comment on or talk or put your opinion out there on what we talked about, maybe you have a different point of view, you are more than welcome to comment. You're more than welcome to send me a DM on Instagram. You guys should have our handles by now. I put it out every single day, so if you don't have it yet, you will have it. And I know he would enjoy the same. If you want to reach out and talk to him, if you want to reach out and say something to me, you are more than welcome to. And on top of that, we've been discussing behind the scenes bringing some guests on. We've only had, this will be our 5th episode, so we're not super deep into it, but we're in the works of talking to a couple of people and bringing them on as guests, and hopefully we can find some heavy Clarksville talent. I think I would like to bring some people on that are really heavy with, into Clarksville. They're from Clarksville, but people who are on the path of success, people who are hustling and grinding, and they're not getting caught up in a bunch of bullshit because their main goal in life is to be successful. Even if you're not yet and you're fucking talented, but I would love to bring you on and fucking give you the spotlight and let you showcase some of your skills. Yeah. And if you are successful and you did make it, then fucking come on and let's talk about it. But I think we're going to wrap it up. This is a real short episode for us today, but fuck it. We'll, I think either tomorrow is your cousin coming in?
He should be here soon, actually. I think he said he was going to leave this morning.
Okay, well, so if we can get him there, he's a really good guy. He's a cousin. He's a friend. He's a fellow seeker of success, and he's also done a lot with school and been a president of a fraternity and working on films and working on being an author. So he would definitely be a good voice to have, and hopefully you guys will see him on here tomorrow. But until then, we'll see you later.